Try to imagine an expanse of orange gardens that from mid-December to late June are adorned with millions of small suns and light up the surrounding countryside with color. Welcome to the land of the Red Orange of Sicily, in that eastern part of the island that extends into the territories of the provinces of Catania, Enna and Syracuse. A unique nature and climate in the world, due to the freezing temperatures of Etna, the highest active volcano in Europe, which runs majestically and snow-covered towards the heat of a strong and generous sun and stretches out to collect the warm caress of the Ionian Sea. Resting in the fertile alluvial plain of the Simeto River. An extraordinary set of water and naturalistic oases and cultivated areas from which climbing up the hills that all around anticipate the Iblei and the Erei mountains. The Sicilian red orange is born from the nature of the soils together with the strong temperature variations of the climate. In the three great families of the Tarocco, Moro and Sanguinello. Juicy fruits with a sugary pulp and rich in beneficial substances, anthocyanins, which also give the skin the typical variegated red color, making it a unique product in the world. And here, the oranges are so red that they seem to evoke the volcano fire. From mid-December until late June, the orange gardens swarm with hard-working hands intent on picking the fruits one by one, accompanied by the incessant ticking, almost a chirping of cicadas of the harvester's scissors. Each tree seems committed to remembering the extraordinary generosity of this land with its dense abundance of fruit. And each tree, at the first announcement of spring, cloaked in orange blossoms as if they were a wedding veil, spreads the scent of zagara everywhere in the air, until it reaches the inhabited area, entering homes, enchanting the senses of the people. Oranges that are told by an ancient history and brought to Sicily by the conquering Arabs. The island as a millennial crossroads of peoples and civilizations that in Sicily have always sought for shelter and hope for a better life or richness to plunder. A cradle of indigenous people since the first settlements of Homo sapiens. The island was the womb and nurturer of Sicilian civilizations. Until it became the richest and most sought-after colony of ancient Greeks, who built temples and cities and theaters everywhere. and then a strategic possession and granary of imperial Rome for its legions launched to conquer all the known world. and history jealously guarded the many municipalities of the land of the Red Orange of Sicily, made up of indelible signs and traces, collected in display cases and museums that become coffers of wonder and chests of priceless treasures. And every slice of our Sicilian red orange is like a sweet treasure chest of health and well-being. Land of underground niches and rock churches enriched by Byzantine frescoes, and in the dim light that reveals caverns and altars torn from the soft tuff of buttresses and plateaus, one still seems to hear the rustle of ancestral rites, murmurs of prayers, whispers of words of faith. An ancient land that, like good wine, makes itself a wonder over time, and today, with Red Orange, amazes for its sweetness and goodness. Castles and military fortifications everywhere in the interior, as well as on the coasts of the land, to mark the fortunes of noble families who grew up in the shadow of Frederick, King of Sicily. Land of rapacious conquests, but also land of refreshment for the Crusaders in their rush to Jerusalem or returning from the Holy City. It is therefore the scene and battlefield for the bloody clash between Normans who rushed to drive out the invaders and the Saracen armies who were still drawing their sharp scimitars on the whole island. And from the Arabs driven out from the island, the orange remained as a restorative gift, a gift that over time, thanks to the stubborn and ingenious selection made by capable men, has become the red orange, a fruit of excellence, a primacy for our producers. Land of Sicily razed to the ground in the Noto Valley, as this part of the island was called at the time, from that terrible earthquake of 1693 that destroyed everything, making rubble and mounds of ruins of the architectures of power and whatever else man had built. Land of hard-working courage and obstinate men in rebuilding. A season of feverish reflowering that announced art, beauty, and sublime melodies. Cities were rethought with geometries of reason to give a new meaning to communities, and hillocks and bridges mantled by life, and ancient crafts that were reborn in the shops of skilled craftsmen. Cities as festive containers of genuine traditions and folklore that memory always renews and reproposes. Cathedrals, churches and palaces were resurrected, even more beautiful and sumptuous, and everything appeared as a huge construction site of minds and arms, of fatigue and sweat, to the rhythm of the incessant tapping of admirable stone masons, thus affirming that new style of construction accepted by art historians as the late Baroque of the Val di Noto, a style that still continues to arouse wonder and amazement in visitors. The goodness of the PGI Red Orange of Sicily is now rigorously protected and certified by the consortium, which supervises the entire production cycle, from cultivation to the design of new plants, from harvesting to the various stages of processing and selection, up to marketing and promotion to guarantee the quality and provenance of this exclusive fruit to the consumer. Starting from the juice, rich in vitamins and beneficial substances for a healthy and proper diet. Thanks to its sweetness and goodness, Red Orange becomes the undisputed protagonist of the best Sicilian gastronomic tradition and an original inspiration for creating new and unprecedented harmonies of flavors, from salty to sweet, from the preparation of fine liquors to pies, cakes, and anything else capable of seducing every palate. From an extraordinary land, here's the excellence of a unique fruit in the world, the Red Orange of Sicily.